Okay, so in last lecture we were discussing about the types of securities, sorry, financial securities, and which of those, so debt securities, equity securities, derivatives, and alternative securities, which are real estate, private equity, venture capital, and commodities. So we have completed two types of securities, mostly overview of them, debt securities and equity securities. But still, I feel we should go, uh, for some basics again, uh, because I think if we do not clear basics more, more in detail, so it will going to cause us some confusion in the latter chapters. Okay, so again, I'm going to start with the what is meant by the securities, financial securities. So, what was the definition of those financial securities? The financial securities is a financial instrument or a financial asset that can be traded. So this was the you know uh, common definition which we use frequently. But again, we have a main question: what is meant by the financial assets? Okay, so on your screen, you can see the asset classes, which are mainly, uh, which I was talking about, the bonds, stocks, cash, and alternatives. Okay, so what do you mean by the financial assets? First, we are going to see what is asset. Can anybody define what is meant by asset? Yes. Yes,
Asset,
Gayatri.
asset is anything which contain economic value
Okay,
or
economic.
can be converted into cash.
Okay, okay. So that's the definition by Gayatri. Okay, so you can have a different definition as well, but asset is a which is contain economic value, financial value, or anything you can say. Value word is important, which has a value or which secure a value, secure a value, because in assets we considered that prices don't go down of assets. Am I right? Okay, so we consider asset as a secure price, secure value, secure our value. So there are two types of assets mainly. Uh, the financial assets and real assets. In real assets, we can simply define it as a land or house, okay, or anything which is tangible, which we can touch, like a property. So these are real assets. On the other hand, we have financial assets, which are our main focus. So financial assets normally refer as the assets that arises or came from a contractual agreement on future cash flow. So what are the keyword for the financial assets? Contractual agreement. If you see any example of financial asset, just take example of debt, which we look in last lecture. So we have a contractual agreement with the debt securities, with that company, with the issuer of the debt, that we will get a future cash flows after a certain period of time. So that's the main definition. That's asset that came from contractual agreements on future cash flows. These are the financial assets, okay, and the real assets which I explained already. Or On other hand, you can also explain financial assets as a owing equity instruments of another entity, or means you can buy some ownership in any organization. So that could be a financial asset. Many times we use a word financial instrument as well. So what is this financial instrument? We can define, or we can just refer it as a contract that generates a financial assets to one of the party. So just take another example of debt. Who is going to get a financial asset in debt instrument? The one who is buyer. So for the buyer, the debt is, or debt security is a financial instrument, because financial instrument is a contract that generates a financial asset to one of the party. So any one of them, because other one is a borrower, other one has a liability of it. For example of debt, buyer has a asset and the issuer has a liability. So that the some thoroughly we can see thoroughly difference between the financial assets and instruments. Okay, so I think I'm clear right up to this. So again, what are the financial assets you have, or asset classes? What are the financial asset classes? So first we see now the asset, but what is meant by classes? So just to take an example, in MBA you have two classes, first year and second year. So why we call it a class? Because we have number of students with the same characteristics. So what are those characteristics? They have passed the CET, they have taken admission into MBA, and they have same subjects. So everyone is different, but some characteristics thoroughly we can see they are same. They all wear a uniform. Yeah, I don't think you all wear uniform, but we can say like that. So asset class is a group of similar investments or investment vehicles. So what are those classes? Fixed income investment, remember, then equity investments, then money markets funds, means cash or cash equivalents, then tangible assets, means real estates, and we can also add derivatives in this category. So the asset classes are grouped together based on similar structure. So just take one example, fixed income investment. So what are the basic structure? First one is a promise income. Second one is a contractual obligation. And third one, a maturity date. Am I right? So these are some characteristics which are same for all the debt securities, all the bonds. Same with the stocks and equities as well. So equities normally ownership, it indicate ownership, and you will get a profit from price changes or by receiving dividends. So you can divide equities investment as a large cap, small cap companies, mid cap companies, blue chip, like those one also. But the characteristics are same, that ownership and the profit by price changes and dividends. So these are the same characteristics. So this is a class of equity and debt as well. And same goes with the cash equivalents as well, or the real estate, as a matter of fact, and for the derivatives as well. So derivatives actually we are not studying, but in next chapter we are going to study about the derivatives as well. So that's why I'm not explaining right now. So these are the asset classes. And how are you going to select the asset class which is perfect for you? By determining the risk and time and return as well. With these three parameters, you are going to get the right mix, or the which is the right asset for you. So that's why we are going to see the next point, which is asset allocation. So I'm going to stop here, and is there any query about what we just saw or what we just studied? Yes?
No, sir.
No query? Okay. Okay, then we will move forward with the asset allocations. So you get it now. You have asset categories, okay, and you are going to invest your money in those assets, but you required a proper allocation. I mean, how many percentage of money or how many percentage of your investment should go in which of the assets? I mean, you can have a personal choice as well. But can we calculate a optimal asset allocation structure for each of our client or for us? So yes, we can get it. So what do you mean by the asset allocation? First, we are going to look at this. Asset allocation defined as normally the investment strategy, okay, in which we are going to divide our investment portfolio between the asset classes, which you are seeing on your screen right now, the 4 asset classes. Just take an example. So, but why? To minimize the investment risk. Everyone is doing investment for the returns, but with the returns, we also need to minimize our risk. We can't go for a higher risk as well, or each investor has his own risk appetite as well. So pension funds don't want risk, but the younger generation want riskier or aggressive investments. So that's why you have to calculate that. So asset classes we just saw, we have equities and fixed income and cash equivalents and derivatives and real estate as well for the asset classes. So we can allocate our asset as per our strategy. Means, just take one example. of diversify asset allocation. So how we are going to see the diversify asset allocation as? So we are going to buy some bonds, some large cap equity, some small and mid cap equities, and some cash products. Okay, so this is, we have 4 to 5 components, some, or just buy some commodities as well. So this is the diversify. But if we want a focused asset allocation, means just we want large cap equity, mid cap equity, and small cap equity, means totally this is equity asset allocation. So this again is dependent on the investor and the investment advisor, means you. So what are the factors that are affecting your asset allocation decisions? So first one is goals, means what that individual or what is your client want actually from the investment. What is the reason, or what are their goals? They want to buy a car, bungalow, or they want to just for the children's education, or just for a pension funds, or just their retirement funds. So this also matters. So goal, what are the person goals? Then risk tolerance. Actually, we have other lecture for the risk tolerance, means how much risk that individual is willing to take and as well as able to take. Can anybody explain what is the sentence means? Means willing to take and able to take. So these are different. Can anybody explain how this is different? Both are. Yes, Mega. कैसे अलग?
सर विलिंग टू टेक इज मतलब हमको कितना मतलब हम क्या इतना कितना विश कर रहे हैं लेने के लिए, और एबल टू टेक कितना हम कर पाएंगे.
ओके, ठीक है. तो जस्ट गिव मी वन ऑफ द एग्जांपल ऑफ अ लोन हियर इन दिस मैटर.
अच्छा ठीक है. लोन एज इन वी हैव रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ 25 lakhs, but that is our willingness that we are required 25 lakhs, and बैंक देखेगा ना कि कितना ये ले सकता है, कितना वो दे सकता है. तो अगर हमारा इनकम के हिसाब से हमें 20 lakhs लोन अगर वो दे सकता है तो वो एबल टू टेक होगा.
Okay, ठीक है. Thank you. So we are going to calculate risk tolerance. Actually, risk tolerance is a value, it's a number. We have a proper calculation for that as well. That you have, if you want to calculate risk tolerance of your client, you have to measure two things: how much risk is willing to take and how much risk he is able to take. So these two numbers are very much required for investments. Then third one is a time horizon. Means if you have one client which is already past is 60 years old now, and you are suggesting him a 10-year, 15-year investment, so is that correct?
No, sir.
Why is not correct? Yes, answer it.
Yes, so because of his age.
Yeah, Pratik, you go first, then other one.
So because of his age, sir.
So he's 60-year-old, so you are thinking he's not going to live 10 years more?
सर और एक सर बिकॉज मतलब अब इनकम स्टॉप होगी ना उनकी, तो फिर इन्वेस्टमेंट कैसे करेंगे?
या वो तो अलग बात है, रिस्क वाली बात है, वो टाइम हॉरिजन. सो या, सो the guy who is 60-year-old already, so you can't expect him to invest for 10 and 15 years because he has his medical expenses, Okay, he don't have income source, so he want his daily expenses as well. So that's why you will suggest him a investment that should be a short term, in months, as a matter of fact, 3 months, 6 months, or maximum 1 year, max to max. And on the other hand, if you have one younger client, just take example 25, 30 years, so you can ask him to invest for 15 years, 20 years. So this time horizon also matters, age. And on other hand, not just age, if I am your client and I want to buy my own house in 10 years, so that's my goal. So you have to adjust my investments as per my goal as well. You can't say me, no sir, ये होगा ही नहीं sir, ये थोड़ा मुश्किल लग रहा है. You can't say that. You have to study. You have to study for the investments, a lot of investments, and then how much can I get. You have to calculate each one's return, future value of that investment, and then you have to suggest me my proper asset allocation. Or you have a child, I have a child which is 1 year old, and he is going to go for his higher study in his age 18 and 20. So I have a time period of 18 years, 20 years. So again, as my investment manager, you have to suggest me. And again, my money should be secure because that's money is for my child. So you have to adjust my risk as well and my return as well. And with time, means 3 factors came in one place. Okay, so these are three factors you should keep in mind when you are going to allocate your client's asset. First one is personal goal. What is his personal choices? Then risk tolerance, and then last one is the time horizon. Okay, so these are some we are studying about the securities, then financial assets, then financial assets, then asset allocation, asset classes. So, okay, so if you have any questions, you can ask me right now. Okay, so I'm going to stop right now with my lecture, and we are now discussing on this all topics.